also this attack have also been a response and also this have been non-stop for all of 4 or 5 days ongoing, and to keep analyzing the real consequences of this conflict that the world is seeing with great concern, we have a special guest, Bruno Lima, who is an expert, an international analyst, and he is joining us to go deep into what is going on in the Middle East. Hi, Bruno. Thank you very much for joining us.
Okay, thanks for having me. Sorry for my cough.
It's
I have
okay.
no voice anymore. Long
Bruno,
journeys like you and like all of us. So I'm here, glad to help you.
thank you, Bruno, for being here with us. Bruno, on your opinion, what are the implications of this major escalation for the countries of the region?
Maybe this is not yet escalation because, as far as I can see in Iranian media, the Islamic Republic is putting, as they say, the 5 to 10% of the capability of the military capacities. From the Zionist side, the escalation for them is to be even more helped by United States or NATO. For example, today we saw in Western media 12 F-35 fighter jets flying from Great Britain to the occupied Palestine that they used to call this Israel, and also with 6 fuel plants, those who can reinforce fuel while the fighter jets are on the air. So the real escalation is a threat that has been said by even Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu that involve directly, at least on bombardment against Iran, US jets and US capacities. If this comes true, this will be the real escalation because nowadays what we can see a war of attrict when a war of friction when Israeli committed the first aggression, international criminal again, the international crime again, as always. Iran retaliates and answer, and this come and go, come and go. On this way, without Israel receiving full aid from US and NATO, Iran will win in a pair of weeks or even 2 or 3 months. But it's impossible, and I finish with this, to imagine that the Western powers will allow a Middle Eastern regional power to win over their colony, which is Israel. So we can think that what will be the next move of Donald Trump? A threat and a bet because he's a gambler to surrender Iran, or to even get more involved in this war and not putting boots on the ground. They're not crazy enough for this, but bombarding Iran with US capabilities. Maybe this way.
You are mentioning precisely the possibility of U.S. President Donald Trump interceding and participating directly in this conflict. On your opinion, what could be the impact? What impact could it have? The direct presence of the U.S. in the Middle East in this conflict?
Depends on the Russian side and depends on the Pakistani side, and you can read the China side. Because on Saturday, and I think I said this to you or to other colleague in teleSUR English too, we've heard the Prime Minister and the Defense Minister of Pakistan promising to full involvement of their country to Iran, including to warfare, weaponry, missiles, jets, and if US would attack Iran or any other Western powers, Islamabad threatened Tel Aviv to receive a direct attack from Pakistan. After
This
that, after that, I did not hear any more from Islamabad than promises and people shouting on the streets.
This
That's
conflict,
my point.
this conflict began after Israel tried to undermine the ongoing negotiations between the United States and Iran regarding Iran's nuclear plan. And at this moment, there are informations that Iran is considering withdrawing from the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty after these
Hmm.
attacks. How would this change the balance of power in the region and the future development of these tensions?
I think that the time has come to Iran do not even sign any agreement that do not involve Israel. If Israel would sign the non-proliferation, the non-proliferation of treaty, the TNP, maybe Iran would sign it too again. But now, this is a joke because I would say this: um, a team of U.S. intelligence agencies has told directly to Donald Trump that Iran is not interested, it's not developing a nuclear weapon. And Donald Trump said, I don't care. I don't care what they say. For me, they're all liars. And Netanyahu is repeating the same lie about nuclear weapons in Iran since 33 years old. He's, for long 33 years, he's been repeating the same thing. So Iran being part of none of the treaty today is secondary. I think that the primary goal to Iran is to have the capacity to prove that he can defeat Israel, and he's proving, and may achieve a treaty with Western powers to not be bold and not be agreed, not receive any aggression anymore. And I really think that, and I insist with this is the time for Russia to play hardballs. This is the time for China to play hardballs. Loud and clear, we do not accept an aggression against our ally. I'm not seeing this yet. I hope to see this soon.
Do you think that the international community is really capable of doing something to halt this ongoing conflict in the Middle East?
No, I think that Russia China can, Pakistan can, because they all have nuclear weapons, and they are all powers, especially China and then Russia. And in military affairs, first Russia, then China. And Russia and Iran, and China and Iran, they are allies, especially Russia and Iran in military affairs. Iran helped a lot to Russia in the war with Ukraine, and you can read it, the war against NATO. So this is the time to be retributed. That's what I really think. From NATO, I can only imagine a Libyan solution, a Syrian solution, a dissolution of the Islamic Republic, and a full sectarian civil war for the glories of the capitals and the hedge funds and the oil industry. But from China and Russia, I still expect something more.
Thank you, Bruno, very much for your time here with us.
Thanks for having me.
We're speaking to